10 a.m. right here on 1370 AM and 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
All right, thank you very much. 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in. The big scary word, I guess, of the last couple of years is diabetes. And I guess we live in an area, I don't know. I don't know if we are an older area or not. I don't know what it is. Or maybe it's something with the obesity issue. Dr. Stephen V. Edelman is going to be able to answer some questions about diabetes. He is a professor of medicine in the Division of Endocrinology, Diabetes, and Metabolism at the University of California in San Diego. And he's the founder and director of Taking Control of Your Diabetes, which is a nonprofit organization, and was diagnosed himself with diabetes in 1970 at the age of 15.
Wow.
So there goes my theory about it being age-related. New ways to take control of your diabetes in 2014. Diabetes.org is the website, and we'll repeat that, of course. Good morning, Dr. Stephen V. Edelman. Good morning, doctor.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good morning, Robin. Well, you started off with something important. You know, there's two main types of diabetes, and the type I got when I was 15 is now called type 1. It was formerly called juvenile onset, and my type of diabetes, which always requires insulin because my insulin-producing pancreas was destroyed, really only accounts for 6 to 7% of all the diabetics in the world. And the type that you were referring to when you get older, that's what we now call type 2. And there's many risk factors, but aging is one of them. But the biggest risk factor, does it run in your family? Because type 2 is a strongly genetic condition.
Oh, really? So if we know that somebody older than us, especially if it's our parents, had diabetes, then there's a good chance that we are a candidate, right?
Yeah, that you're at risk. And, you know, the reason why they changed the name from adult onset to type 2, because believe it or not, you can get type 2 diabetes as a kid. I'll give you an example of like a Native American kid or a Latino or an African American or even a heavy white kid whose parents have type 2. That kid will come down with what we used to call adult onset diabetes at the age of 5 or 6. This is not uncommon, especially with the obesity epidemic in our kids. And the other important thing I need to jump in there and say is that obesity in and of itself doesn't cause type 2 diabetes. There's a lot of heavy people, a lot of older people in this world that do not have diabetes. But if you have the genetic tendency, if it runs in your genes, you know, a first degree relative has it, it puts your risk much higher. And getting overweight can bring out the genetic abnormality, if you follow me on that.
This is probably a crazy way to ask this question, so just try to see through the crazy part of this. But I mean, if I were fat because I ate lettuce way too much, as opposed to fat because I ate ice cream way too much, would one fat be different than the other fat is in regards to diabetes? In other words, does the food itself maybe play a role as opposed to the amount of food? I know you'd have to eat 12 trucks full of cabbage, but
You're asking a great question, and the answer, in my professional opinion, based on the literature, is the risk is absolutely the same.
Same, okay.
Yep, and you know there might be people out there. There's so much, you know. Forgive my French, but you know there's so much crap on the internet and crazy folks that sell herbal and vitamin remedies with false promises. You know, when you're heavy, you're heavy, and I guarantee you didn't eat just cabbage. And the thing is, you know, Larry, that when you have the genetic tendency for type 2 that runs in your family, you could smell food and gain weight. Your metabolic system is messed up. And we know for a fact that if you take two groups of people, one group has a high risk for diabetes, the other doesn't, and you put them on a weight reduction diet, everything's exactly the same. The folks that have the high risk for diabetes will lose weight the least, and the other folks will lose more weight, even if everything is controlled. So it's really a strongly genetic abnormality, and that's why the rates are increasing around the world. I mean, the numbers are staggering, despite all the hoopla it's getting in the media over the past couple of years, as you mentioned in your opening comments.
Wow.
And it seems to me, anyway, that if a child gets diabetes, any kind of a type of diabetes, that their friends don't make fun of them anymore. Their friends, you know, really embrace this, that they have to take insulin shots or they have to eat differently, and they just are treating the children that have diabetes just as normal.
Well, Robin, what you said is absolutely true, but it's also true with adults. There has to be a lot more public education and we need to support these folks, not make fun of them or, browbeat them because they got heavy and they ate themselves into getting diabetes. And it turns out that what is a diabetic supposed to do? It's really what everybody in this country should be doing, is exercising regularly and eating a healthy diet. Hey, what's wrong with that? Especially when the number one cause of death of all Americans is heart disease, because both diet and exercise eating the food you like in moderation can only be good for you. And it comes down to just education, Robin, not only medical education, but emotional and psychological and social support, as you correctly pointed out.
Yeah, and the diabetes in and of itself sounds bad enough, but when you think about diabetes leading to blindness or leading to amputations, it's a scary condition. And when you, right now you're speaking to a number of people, and among them there are some people who probably say, "Oh, I hate when you talk about diabetes. It worries me." Mm-hmm. So what would you tell that person? If it worries you, what would you say to that person?
Yeah, this is what I would say. Being a diabetic myself, there's never been a better time to have diabetes. Become educated on the currently available treatment options, and keep abreast of developments on the horizon. And I'll just mention one that people are really excited about. It's this new insulin that you don't have to use a needle. It's an inhaled insulin, very small device, and this negates the need for needles. And a lot of people with type 2 out there hate injecting themselves with a needle, and I don't blame them. I've been doing it since I was a teenager, and it also works better than the currently available insulins, less weight gain, less low blood sugar. So, and the inhaled insulin, Afrezza, is just one advance. There's new pills coming out for people with type 1 like myself. There's a thing called the artificial pancreas. So what I would tell your listeners, there's never been a better time to have diabetes. Get smart, get educated, and then find a good support system, whether it's a good caregiver, a good doctor, a certified diabetes educator, and bring along your family members so that they can get educated as well.
Dr. Stephen V. Edelman is our guest, and we've only got about 3 more minutes with him, but we do have a phone call coming in. Are you okay with taking calls from listeners?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Dr. Edelman.
Hi, Dr. Edelman, and hi, Larry. This is June. I have a question for you, if I may ask you this.
Yes.
I have just had a blood profile done, a fasting blood profile, and my glucose came back, instead of, I guess the range it says here between 70 and 100, and mine came back 101. So, of course, they put that into the high district. And I'm just wondering, should that be a cause for an alarm? There is no diabetes in my family that I know of, and I am not overweight. In fact, I'm thin. So I'm just wondering, I'll hang up and listen to your call and what you think about that, and thank you so much for your information.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. That's a great question. You're in the pre-diabetes range, but by 1 milligram per deciliter. So it's nothing to panic over. But at this point, with no family history and not being overweight, you still may be at risk for diabetes. But you need to get the test from your doctor called the hemoglobin A1C, and you need to get that repeated at your next visit. But hey, there's nothing wrong with spiffing up your lifestyle a little bit. But it's nothing to panic over. It's just important to follow that the next time you're in 6 months away from now.
Yeah, and we happen to know June, and she is in excellent shape. I'm just so it's not always somebody who's heavy, obviously. Before we run out of time, the best thing we can leave our listeners with is the website. Is there a book you can recommend, or just go to the doctor?
There's an excellent book, and guess who the author is?
Is it you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, cool.
I have a book called Taking Control of Your Diabetes, and I would say this: if you go to our website, tcoyd.org. We're not the end-all organization, and there's no one organization, but we link to all the diabetes organizations, and from there you can get our online videos, and you can get my excellent book, which is superb, if I do say so myself. and I think that I can just leave your listeners with, knowledge is power, and you just got to take your time. Remember, it's getting your diabetes under control is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And try not to get discouraged and just take things slowly.
Okay, well, that was a surprise. I didn't realize there was a book. I'm glad I asked. So the website for everything is tcoyd.org, which is abbreviation for Taking Control of Your Diabetes, tcoyd.org. Doctor, thank you for what you're doing. I think you put a lot of people at ease. And if you got somebody a little nervous, maybe it's a good thing in the long run. Doctor, thank you for being on the air with us today.
All right. Thanks, Larry. Thanks, Robin.
Good stuff. All right, we will take a little break and we'll be right back.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala Restore at 926 Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give us a call at 401-0075 and we'll come pick it up. For more information, visit ocalarestore.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County. Building homes, building hope, building community.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah, whatsupocala.com.
Okay, guys, listen up. It's that time of year again. Little chocolate hearts, roses, earrings. Valentine's Day's coming up. Last year you got me slippers that didn't fit. The year before, it was that steering wheel cover for my car. And don't even get me started on the vacuum cleaner incident. Now, don't get me wrong, flowers and jewelry would be nice, but this year I'd like something I can thank you for every single day. That new bathroom I've been dreaming about. You know, the one with the rain heads, body sprayers, touchless faucets, bidet, and even the seat warmer. So here's what you do. Step 1, return the crockpot and apron that you thought were good ideas. Step 2, pick up the phone and call Mike Scott Plumbing now.
You heard the lady, guys. Call today to schedule an appointment to visit one of our beautiful showrooms. The main showroom in Hernando or the new showroom in Wildwood right across from Brownwood Square. Call today, 237-2888. That's 237-2888. And remember, if water runs through it, we do it. Mike Scott Plumbing.
And that leaf blower in the closet better be for your mother.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Just say anything as long as you say something. Got it? This is the rule when it comes to job interviews. People who drank 2 cups of green tea a day lost 3 pounds in 3 months without changing their diets. People who sleep on the left side of the bed tend to be more cheerful, better able to handle stress, and tackle heavy workloads compared to those who sleep on the right side of the bed.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Howdy, RL here to tell you about a great deal at Dairy Queen. For only $4.49, you can warm up to a hot, juicy combo of either a foot-long, quarter-pound all-beef chili dog or a tasty home-style cheeseburger. Smoking hot off the char grill. Both get fries and a drink. You can add a sundae for only 99 cents. Now that's a doggone good deal at Dairy Queen, Silver Springs, where they always treat you like kings and queens.
This is a public notice. Local residents can now save thousands of dollars on their next car, truck, or SUV. It's not a tent sale, because no tent is big enough to hold this many cars. It's OcalaForSale.com. Say goodbye to sticker shock. OcalaForSale.com has thousands of vehicles with no stickers at all. But hurry, don't walk, don't run. Just sit down and log on to OcalaForSale.com. Prices and inventory change daily. Offer does not include dealer upcharge. Undercutting, rust-proofing, factory surcharge, or delivery fee. See website for details.
Hi, I'm Yvette, and I'm here to tell you a few things about ABC Frederick's Appliance. They sell not only new, but used guaranteed appliances. When you call ABC Frederick's Appliance, they will provide service on what they sell and any appliances that you own. ABC Frederick's Appliance is located in Bellevue, right over the railroad tracks. Call 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. That's 352-629-5181. ABC Frederick's Appliance.
News Talk 1370 WOCA invites you to discover your full business potential. News Talk Radio is the perfect environment for your advertising. WOCA's News Talk format pinpoints information-hungry, better educated, high-income adults. So use us to talk to them. Call 732-8000. 732-8000. We're Ocala News Talk Radio. News Talk 1370 WOCA.
Do black patent leather shoes really reflect up?
Find out at the Ocala Civic Theater's delightful musical comedy running from February 6th to March 2nd.
Watch from late bloomer Eddie Ryan's first day of Catholic school to the senior prom.
This musical romp goes through confession, poodle skirts, guardian angels, gym class, rock and roll, and the birds and the bees.
Do black patent leather shoes really reflect up? Is set for performances from February 6th till March 2nd at the Ocala Civic Theater. It's a divine comedy directed by Greg Thompson.
Who?
Yeah, that guy. He's an actor or something.
I don't know.
The Usual Suspects Jazz Quartet will be in Arthur's Bistro at the Hilton Hotel on February 1st from 6:30 till 9:30 p.m. And then on February 15th, Arthur's Bistro will be having a gala Valentine show with the Usual Suspects featuring guest vocalist Mark Raich from 6:30 till 9:30 p.m. for your dining, dancing, and listening pleasure. Based on previous performance, we recommend that you make a reservation for this show. Call 352-390-1515 for the Usual Suspects Jazz Quartet.
Last year, over $1 billion, that's a B with 9 zeros, was left on the table from taxes not done right. But thankfully, H&R Block tax preparers have over 100 hours of training to help you get your piece of the billion back. Come visit us and our friends at H&R Block this tax season at the Paddock Mall, Marion Oaks, and Triple Crown shopping centers to make sure you get your maximum refund. Don't forget to check with your favorite nonprofit for referral information where applicable.
All right, thank you, Joe. 20 minutes after 11 o'clock, nice looking sunny Tuesday. The whole southeast is, and even the northeast right now, worried about the cold, about the snow, about the rain, and we are just below the line that they keep talking about. So hopefully we'll be spared whatever they're talking about. Although, you never know. One of the things you might not be spared from, though, is hacking or some kind of an issue with your computer's security. And there was a story just this week about Michael's, the craft arts and crafts store, being another target of a hacker, getting people's information. I guess Neiman Marcus was the second one. The first one was Target a few weeks ago, right? And then there was this, I subscribed to Kim Commando's newsletter. Kim Commando does a radio show, and she's a tech lady. And she was saying that if you let somebody use your Wi-Fi, or maybe somebody hacked into your Wi-Fi somehow, you could literally get in trouble. Let's say, and I do. My neighbor uses my Wi-Fi.
Yes,
I'm friends with him, so I have no problem with it. But and he's probably not going to download something illegal. But what if he did, or transmitted something illegal? Who would the police come after? They'd come after me, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's how it is. So there's all kinds of things we need to worry about. And ever since the beginning of this whole thing we call the internet. By the way, did you know the very first internet website is still up there?
I did not know that.
I read that this morning.
Wow, cool.
Michelle Dennedy is on the phone. She's the Vice President and Chief Privacy Officer for McAfee, the founder of the Identity Project, and she was awarded the EWF-CSO Magazine Woman of Influence Award for her work in the privacy and security fields, and the Goodwin Proctor IAPP Vanguard Award to Lifetime Achievement. I hope I got that right. She's going to tell us the results of a new survey from ADT McAfee on how to protect ourselves against the latest security risks. So let's see if maybe we won't be a victim if we pay attention to some of this stuff. Michelle Dennedy. Good morning, Michelle.
Good morning, and thank you for that warm introduction.
And where are you? Do you need to be warm? Where are you?
I'm actually, I've been very spoiled. I'm sitting out here in Santa Clara, California. It's 70 degrees Fahrenheit, and I've just been watching and shivering on behalf of the rest of the country.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, right? And how do you watch? Do you watch online or on TV?
Of course, I'm multimedia. I mean, we're all running around with all sorts of different devices, right? And my ticker line on my mobile device is Michelle on the Move, because I'm constantly floating from here to there. So I'm very conscious of how people are working and living in this kind of both physical and virtual environment.
I'm going to tell you a lesson I learned, and I don't know if you could have helped me, but I have a track phone. In other words, I have the cheapest cell phone that probably exists, and I hardly use it. I just load it up now and then with minutes or whatever. Well, and I also have my Twitter that come to that phone, okay? So I had a Twitter message, and it said, hey, I thought you might like this, and then there was a link. I said, wow, I wouldn't normally trust that on my computer because I don't know who this is, but let me see. I'm just a phone. What harm could come to my phone? So I clicked this thing, and I proceeded to watch my minutes, which I had about 155 minutes. I proceeded to watch them go down to zero. So I don't know. I don't know why they steal minutes. I don't know what they do with them, but mine were gone that quick.
They use them for free. It's called smishing.
Oh, well, they got my 155. So could McAfee have helped me with that?
Yeah, so it's a really important thing, right? And so what you're saying is what happens to a lot of people. We're very trusting out there, and we feel very social and relaxed, and we get these links, and it says, hey, here's some information, or it'll say, I love you, that was a classic virus, or, hey, I heard some gossip about you, and we want to click on this stuff. And so it's more important than ever, even if you have a device that doesn't have a ton of features on it, to make sure that you're thinking about what you're sharing online and how you're protecting those devices and the information about you that's shared through those devices.
Outside of grocery stores, it seems like when we go to retail outlets and we buy things, even if we pay cash for them, they're always asking for your telephone number. So why should they do that? Sometimes in the very beginning, I would say no, and then they'd give me a hard time. They'd say, no, we need to have this, for you to buy things, and now I just give it to them. I mean, why do they insist on that?
You know what I've done, which is a little snarky on my behalf. When those retailers continue to press me for the number, I go online and I find the number to their main number, and that's the number I give them. So if they want to call themselves, peace out.
I like that.
About what I share.
Oh, that's too funny. That's too funny. So I'll tell you another story that happened to me. Worse than stealing my minutes. Somebody tried to steal my money.
Yeah.
I have a PayPal account, and one day I got an email that said PayPal something is paying something for you. And I thought, okay, this is just a trick. They want me to click on this, so I deleted it. Well, sure enough, they really were taking my money. They were taking it in the form of euros, and it easily could have been over $1,000. And they did it in several different attempts.
Yeah.
And I somehow got on there quick enough to foil 3 of those attempts, but 2 of them made it through. A few phone calls to PayPal and to my bank, and everybody. It took about a week, but the money was put back in there. And this guy in Italy didn't get my money, and they told me he was in Italy. I guess they knew. So is this something? And am I pronouncing it right? McAfee, right? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah, McAfee is right.
So could that have helped me with that?
We think about this stuff all the time, and all these various ways that bad guys try to jump in and disrupt our lives.
So how does that? I don't even understand how this all works. When you go to the bank in the old days, you put money in, it was guaranteed for $100,000.
Yeah.
Now you put money in, you're guaranteed for $100,000 unless it's stolen electronically. Then you have to pay another $15 a month to protect yourself from that kind of theft.
That's right.
Yeah, well, I tell you what, it does sound like an imposition, but some of those services really are worth doing. And proactively, what you want to do is there's easy things, right? So if you own a smartphone, for example, look at its settings. What we found in our recent study that we just launched is over 50% of Apple users and 30% of Droid users don't even bother to put a password on their phone. So the least you could do is make it hard. It's like that old tiger joke, right? I don't have to outrun a tiger. I just have to outrun you. So you want to make yourself, the faster runner in the race against these bad guys, and do the simple things like making sure your settings are correct. Make sure your antivirus and anti-spam software is up to date and protected. When you get those notifications that your subscription is about to expire, you want to think about that and make that your moment to check your credit card statements, make sure you're understanding what you're sharing and where, and really be vigilant about it, because the physical world, protecting our homes and our offices, is starting to get closer and closer to our virtual world, where our money is, our contacts are, our photographs, and all sorts of details about our loved ones.
And now people have mobile businesses like woodworking, for instance. They go to all of these different crafts fairs. They might go all over the United States, and then when they sell product, the person purchasing it will give them their credit card, and they'll just swipe that credit card on their smartphone. How can the person that owns the credit card be sure that that's all that's going in there and nobody else is going to try to steal it from a third party?
Yeah, it's a really good question, because we're swiping our cards everywhere, and look at what just happened. We've got Neiman Marcus, we've got Target, we've got Michael's, we've got kind of an array of different types and variety and levels of retailers. And what it says is a lot of that swipe data can be compromised. So you have to protect yourself as a consumer. Every time you get that statement at home, do what you would do with your wallet. Look through it and make sure there's nothing weird. If there's even just a $1 charge, make sure that you're going back to your credit card company and alerting them. Because what happens is this: 110 million people with stolen identities from Target. All a bad guy has to do is steal $1 from each account. But if you aren't looking at that account and you're not alerting that credit card agency and you're not getting the free protection that they're offering you to do that $15 a month monitoring for you, saying to the thieves is, I'm open for business.
Yeah, right. By the way, did you pronounce it Target one time? Target?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a California girl. It's Target in Florida. It's Target.
Oh, I
It's
see.
Target, but it's just Target. I just love it. And I feel, they're victims of a crime here, too. I know a lot of their security guys, and they're really smart people, but it just takes a bad guy to get in one way.
Yeah,
and
right.
to protect every way on the inside.
Michelle, can I ask one further question about the software that protects our computers? Sometimes you have software, a product put into the computer, and then you'll download something, and it'll say you've just added another what do you call it? Security program or safety program, right? Like, let's say you have McAfee in your computer, and all of a sudden something else automatically gets loaded because I bought something else, and maybe I didn't uncheck a box or something like that. To me, that makes the computer go really slow when there's two programs in there that are trying to do the same thing. And I'm always really bad at knowing how to get rid of stuff like that.
So, you know what? As long as I've worked in the tech industry, I'm kind of I'm one of those people, too. And so we actually have a lot of great customer service people to help. If you can't get it off your device or you can't configure it correctly, we have a lot of things, for example, where typically mom or dad ends up being the IT guy for the family. And so we actually have a family protection product where one family member who's a little bit better in this space will go in and set up and help you set up all the settings for the whole family and all your devices. So you can kind of go, and if you're having trouble doing and following the wizards and the menus, you can just call somebody online and do it real time and make sure your whole family's set up kind of all in one go. And it really helps cut down on some of that traffic.
And
the other thing that I think people do, they think it's the software that's slowing them down. They have a million different browser windows open at once. So sometimes you just want to shut everything down and go one by one.
That's true, too. And real quick, if you could take the time, the survey that you're talking about, is that how you knew to put some kind of a program like that where there's one person in charge in the family? And sometimes it might be the 16-year-old who knows better than everybody else, right?
Mm-hmm. Sometimes it is, and you have to have a discussion with your 16-year-old, what's cool and what's not cool in your family. The survey was actually part of what we're doing is we're actually partnering with a company called ADT. They're that classic home security company, so that we're bundling and creating a portal so you can do both your home and your business and your virtual life all in one go. So we're trying to get it more and more convenient for you.
Excellent. Michelle, thank you for being on the air with us today. How do we find out more about the things we've talked about? Is there a website or more than one website we can go to?
Yeah, you just head to McAfee.com, and we've got all sorts of information for you as a consumer, you as a business person, and lots of tips and tricks so you can talk to your family about cyber safety. It is Data Privacy Today. I'm sure you guys are celebrating. So make sure you're having that conversation with the people around you.
I didn't realize that, but I think I'm going to go to Target and celebrate.
There you go.
Bring your cash, unfortunately.
Yeah, bring your cash. Yeah, definitely. Michelle Dennedy, thank you so much for getting up early on the West Coast to be with us today. And you're in the Stay Warm Club. We're part of that club. There's only a few of us in it, so.
Exactly. Let's stay in the club.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
All right, we will take a little break and be right back.
Today in Florida Ag News from the Southeast AgNet, thanks to an additional sign-up period, farmers now have the opportunity to apply for funding for several special conservation initiatives through USDA's Natural Resources Conservation Service. And one of those is the Gulf of Mexico initiative for producers located in the Escambia River and Middle Swanee River area watersheds. Escambia County dairy farmer Brent Yoder is one of those who has taken part of the USDA conservation effort in the past.
Several that I've recently completed was a heavy use area where the cows prepare for milking with a water runoff, like a catch basin there. I've also been approved to expand the rotational grazing with the transitional fencing, as well as the associated water supply source to each paddock with a water trough.
Yoder says all of those conservation efforts have also been beneficial to his bottom line.
The fences and the gates, it's much easier to control the cattle, to control the amount of grazing that you allow that particular crop to be grazed. So yes, it's a labor-saving practice as well.
Although applications are accepted on a continuous basis, February 21st is the date set for the additional sign-up for 2014 funding for the Gulf of Mexico initiative, as well as the Organic Seasonal High Tunnel, On-Farm Energy, Longleaf Pine, and Working Lands for Wildlife initiatives. For more info on all these initiatives, as well as other programs, visit the Florida NRCS website at fl.nrcs.usda.gov or stop by your local USDA service center.
It's a new day for hay with Kubota Hay Tools taking the field across the country. One pass with a Kubota RA Series rake or TE Series tedder tells the story. Rugged construction, gentle forage handling, efficient working widths. And when that first pass adds up to hundreds, you really see the value of Kubota, as smart details like low-maintenance gearboxes consistently save you time and money. The point is cut and dried. Kubota Hay Tools are precisely engineered to help you get more done. Learn more at Kubota.com or see your local Kubota dealer today.
Julie McPeak with Southeast AgNet.
Here are today's headlines from the source, WOCA. A proposed constitutional amendment to allow the medical use of marijuana will go before Florida voters in November after the state Supreme Court narrowly approved the ballot language yesterday. The 4-3 decision is a victory for personal injury lawyer John Morgan, who spent $4 million on a medical marijuana petition drive, and a defeat for Republican Attorney General Pam Bondi, who fought to keep the question off the ballot. The decision comes 3 days after Morgan secured enough voter signatures to make the ballot. He made a massive push in December and January to beat the February 1st deadline instead of waiting for the Supreme Court decision. The Star Banner is reporting that the Marion County Commission is considering selling the Marion County Jail to a private prison company. The idea, credited to Commissioner Stan McLean, stemmed from a tour of the jail facility McLean gave last year to executives from Corrections Corporation of America. The article indicates that McLean said selling the jail property and buildings would not mean privatizing jail operations. The county would operate the jail under a long-range lease with an option to buy back the site. The move to privatize the jail facility, though not its operations, would be a financial decision which theoretically would add money to the county's budget. The report states that the county commission did not discuss details such as what would be done with the revenue, the specifics of any proposed lease, or who would maintain the facility if it was sold. County Administrator Lee Nibluck will research the matter, said he could have the results ready for the commission's consideration by late March or early April, according to the report. A provision in the recently negotiated Farm Bill is designed to tackle the scourge of citrus greening, a bacterial disease that is devastating to crops in Florida and several other states. Included in the legislation's conference report is $125 million spread over 5 years that will be guaranteed to go to citrus disease research. An additional $125 million over 5 years in discretionary citrus funding was also included in the bill, although the money still will need to be approved during the appropriations process each year. Senator Bill Nelson, a Democrat from here in Florida, and Representative Vern Buchanan, a Republican from Florida, pushed for the funding. It comes after an additional $20 million was put into the omnibus spending bill approved by Congress earlier this month. The Farm Bill, a massive piece of legislation that is customarily revamped and passed every 5 years to lay out the structure of agriculture spending, is nearly complete. The bill was approved yesterday by a bipartisan conference committee of members from both the House of Representatives and the Senate. It is on track for a vote in the House on Wednesday and in the Senate as early as the end of this week. The money is designed to help researchers and the citrus industry combat the disease, which has put a major impact on Florida and also spread into California, Louisiana, Texas, Georgia, and South Carolina. And we were saddened to learn that Estelle Benson passed away on Friday. Estelle, along with her husband Earl, were responsible for the resurrection of the Orange Blossom Opry in Weirsdale, built in the gymnasium of an old school building. Estelle was 85 years old. The Orange Blossom Opry has been a venue for top-name entertainers, including Crystal Gale, Rhonda Vincent, the Bellamy Brothers, Mel Tillis, Roy Clark, and many, many more. It even gave local performers an opportunity to perform on the big stage every Thursday during their jam Jam Night. The Opry is inviting the public to a celebration of life for Estelle Benson tonight at 7 p.m. Dave Schlenker for the Star Banner wrote a wonderful tribute to Estelle in the paper. Memorials may be made in her name to the Lake Sumter Children's Advocacy Center. And those are the headlines from the source, WOCA 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. We're in Florida. After some morning fog, we'll see clouds and limited sunshine today with a passing shower. The highs generally in the 70s. It'll be cloudy tonight with a shower or two, turning colder across the north with a low of 42. Remaining mild to the south with a low of 58. Tomorrow, considerable cloudiness and cooler with a shower or two. Highs ranging from just 45 in the northernmost part of the zone to 62 in the southernmost part. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Chicken wings for the Super Bowl. That story coming up on This Land of Ours.
It's a new day for hay with Kubota Hay Tools taking the field across the country. One pass with a Kubota RA Series rake or TE Series tedder tells the story. Rugged construction, gentle forage handling, efficient working widths. And when that first pass adds up to hundreds, you really see the value of Kubota, as smart details like low-maintenance gearboxes consistently save you time and money. The point is cut and dried. Kubota Hay Tools are precisely engineered to help you get more done. Learn more at Kubota.com or see your local Kubota dealer today.
With the second biggest eating day of the year after Thanksgiving, Super Bowl Sunday brings a little bit of a different fare to the table, or should we say, coffee table. And more often than not, chicken wings are firmly placed on top of the menu. According to the National Chicken Council's 2014 Wing Report, 1.25 billion wings will be devoured during Super Bowl 48 as fans watch the Seattle Seahawks and Denver Broncos battle for the Lombardi Trophy. Those numbers match the record level set back in 2012 and is about 20 million more wings than were consumed last year. To put that into perspective, if 1.25 billion wing segments were laid end to end, they would stretch from CenturyLink Field in Seattle, Washington, to the home of the Super Bowl at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey. 30 times. That's enough wings to put 572 wings on every seat in all 32 NFL stadiums. As for the preferred style or flavor of all those wings, nearly two-thirds, 65%, say buffalo wings are among their favorites, with 49% preferring barbecue and 39% mild. But it's not just the flavor you choose, but more what you dip them in. As more than half, 51% of U.S. adults who eat chicken wings said they typically like to eat their wings with ranch dressing. 35% of wing lovers choose barbecue sauce, with 32% saying blue cheese. And 10% of wing lovers describe themselves as purists who eat nothing at all with their wings. Julie McPeak with Southeast AgNet.
Habitat for Humanity of Marion County is a ministry dedicated to improving lives by providing affordable and decent housing. Help them help others by visiting the Habitat for Humanity Ocala Restore at 926 Northwest 27th Avenue. To schedule a donation, give us a call at 401-0075 and we'll come pick it up. For more information, visit ocalarestore.org. Habitat for Humanity of Marion County. Building homes, building hope, building community.
Look who just walked in the room. Joel Wiesner from What's Up Ocala. Hey, Joel, I'm looking for something to do this weekend. You got any ideas?
Absolutely. Check out our event calendar online at www.whatsupocala.com, and there is plenty of events there for you. Daily news updates to event reviews and magazine articles.
Really?
We've organized it all in one place online for you to cut through all of the hassle of finding something to do this weekend. We have a daily event calendar, a bi-monthly magazine, and we also do daily news articles.
All right, Joel, that's perfect. Thanks so much.
Yeah. Whatsupocala.com.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. We're in Florida. After some morning fog, we'll see clouds and limited sunshine today with a passing shower. The highs generally in the 70s. It'll be cloudy tonight with a shower or two, turning colder across the north with a low of 42. Remaining mild to the south with a low of 58. Tomorrow, considerable cloudiness and cooler with a shower or two. Highs ranging from just 45 in the northernmost part of the zone to 62 in the southernmost part. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Joe Lundberg.
Hi, this is Joe from Damage Control Services. Join me Tuesdays at 10:30 when we discuss what to do when you're